Okay, welcome to the introduction of Haskell. This is going to be the second language which we cover on the YouTube channel, and we're hopefully going to go through everything until we have a pretty decent tutorial guide on YouTube. First off, we won't be going through how to set up the programming environment. So if you haven't done that, you can search online. It's quite easy. You just need to download the GHCI compiler, and then you can pretty much get started by just renaming your file .hs in let's say Visual Studio Code or whichever environment you want to use. So let's get down to the basics. Haskell is different from, let's say, C, which is an imperative language. Instead, this is a functional language, which basically is it isn't step by step like C. Instead, it's just a bunch of functions which basically gets called upon, and then when they get called upon, they basically compute and they return a value. But let's say that I had a code with 100 functions, and I just click run, nothing would happen because nothing gets called upon. Of course, you could do that with a main block and so on, but that's for the future. So let's just start with basic functions. Let's say I wanted to make a function double, which basically doubles an argument x, and this is basically the name and then the argument. And then we type equals to, and then here we basically declare the function. So let's say that I wanted to double this argument, and I would just type 2 times and then the same argument as I have here, x. And now if I were to load my code, I could type double 4, or I could type double 3 or double 2.5. All of this works, right? But in Haskell, you would also want to have a signature, it's called. So a signature is basically something that declares the types of which basically arguments the function takes in. So so let's say I want this double to only handle numbers, right? Because let's say I sent in a string here, it would just return an error, right? So I type the name, and I type 2 of these semicolons, and then I type, let's say that I want a num a, and num is basically a subclass, and we will be going through all the types and subclasses in a different video, but for now, just trust me here. And then we have one argument in this case, so let's type 1a, and then we return something. So this is our return, and then we return an a, right? So now, much the same. I can type double, right? Just as before. That's the same thing, but make it a habit to create signatures for your functions, because that's going to help you a lot in the future. So let's say I wanted to make another function. Let's say I wanted to make another double 2, which basically takes 2 arguments and it doubles them together. So now I have the name here, and I have 2 variables. Let's say that I want to first double x, and then I want to add, and I want to double y. Oh, and I want to double y. So yeah, and this is a very basic function. And if I were to then type double 2, and let's say 2 and 2 should return 8, it does. And I can do the same as that. This though, because look, okay, first of course we will want to add another one of these signatures, and in this case we have 2 arguments. I would type a, and the second one a, and then we return one number, which is a. But this, you see, this is basically a double function, but we already have a function that doubles one of these. So we could instead write double x plus double y, right? I don't think we need these even. And this would work exactly the same, but basically just chain the functions. And yeah, this is a very, very simple example, but in the future, in future videos, you're gonna see much larger chains, and yeah, basically the use of chaining functions together and breaking problems apart into smaller pieces to build your program. But yeah, that's the first video for Haskell, and we'll keep expanding on this in the future videos.